Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard packed show. We're in the preseason. We've seen the first week. We made our predictions, and you already mentioned it, but we're pretty bad apparently at predicting football games. Hope this gets better in the regular season. We were off on a couple of preseason games, but you can't be too worried about that. It is the preseason after all. We saw some crazy results, and we also made some crazy picks. Let's be honest. We picked some. I think I picked the Lions over the Patriots just because it's preseason. I thought I could. Maybe I shouldn't, but
oh man, I definitely was thinking that the Lions could have pulled that out, man. But obviously,
Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, well, Belichick obviously cares about preseason nowadays.
Yeah, apparently he does, and Jarrett Stidham looked pretty good out of Auburn there.
Yeah, man, I didn't think Stidham was gonna be much in the NFL. I don't even think he would get drafted, to tell you the truth. I mean. Kerryon Johnson held up his end of the deal for the most part in college, but
well, in that New England system,
God
knows a quarterback can rise above his God-given ability. There.
He's the new Brian Hoyer, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's get into the next predictions, man. We have week 2 obviously around the corner. We got some Antonio Brown later down the line, and as fantasy football season is heating up, and we also have a draft coming up somewhat soon. We're going to get your final closing thoughts on that stuff. Trying to get some insider tips, obviously, for our draft.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get there when we get there. So, preseason week 2, starting off with the Eagles and Jaguars.
All right. I'm going... I wanted to go with the home team, but I think I'm actually going with Philadelphia here. We're going to see a series or two of the starters, and the starters for the Eagles are much better than the starters for the Jags.
That's true. Both teams obviously are 0-1 right now, not necessarily good starts. Nick Foles is playing his former team, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was actually allowed to play a full quarter just to
I thought about that narrative there.
So I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay.
By the way, we're not keeping score of the preseason predictions. We'll start doing that in the regular season just to kind of keep track of how we're doing. But the preseason it's too wild, too unpredictable. We're not embarrassing ourselves.
Yeah, this is a practice run.
Paper, at least. Yeah, exactly. This is our preseason too, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Bengals and the Redskins again, 0-1 teams.
Another one where I almost went with the home team just because it's too close to call, but I'm going with Cincinnati. The starters, basically the same reason. The starters they have there are better than the starters that are in Washington. And that one drive, that one series, that one quarter, whatever they play, is going to work out much better for Cincinnati than it will for Washington. We don't even
do a lot. I mean, we've seen Dwayne Haskins struggle considerably in his debut, which is expected. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen with him. So I'm not too worried about that. I thought he was going to be a raw prospect, and he is. Both those teams are not necessarily on my top 10 list for this season, though. This is
no.
Like early predictions, both those teams are not necessarily looking good right now. I'm gonna take Washington, but why not? Contrarian.
I wouldn't doubt that we see Colt McCoy start the season.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you got 3 possible quarterbacks for the Redskins right now who could reasonably assume a starter role. I think though Dwayne Haskins is probably the least ready right now, and it's also not necessary. You're not gonna win this season no matter what. Like he's not gonna be your Peyton Manning right off the bat starter, take the team to the playoffs. He's not going to lift up a below average team to being average or above average in year one. That's not realistic. So just sit him out, take your time, develop the guy, and then bring him in when he's ready.
Yeah, well, we kind of saw this scenario play out with Dak Prescott, which worked out very well for the Cowboys. Yeah. But I don't know that we're going to see that here, but it's a possibility.
But Dak Prescott had the best offensive line in football and
the
best running back in football drafted in the same class.
That is true.
Not exactly a lot of parallels there.
Yeah, not quite the same scenario.
Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens.
Tough call, actually, man. I'm going with the odds-on favorite at home, the Baltimore Ravens. get to see a little bit of that running attack. Hopefully, some of this triple option they're going to be running, and Green Bay's defensive line is not ready for that. For one, and
no, releasing Mike Daniels, there a lot of young players now on that defense too. Two veterans gone, obviously, and like I said, Daniels, Hawkland, and Diggs. Not that the starters are going to take necessarily many reps, but I'm also going to go with the Ravens because, well, for the simple reason that Lamar Jackson can use every rep that he gets.
Oh, yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers does not need reps. You know that. And
No,
I'm assuming that Lamar Jackson's going to get more reps than Aaron Rodgers. So I think he's going to lead the Ravens to home victory there. New York Jets and the 0-2 Atlanta Falcons.
Oh,
worst
you like
record in the preseason right now.
You like pointing that out, huh? Man, that's actually tough because people gave me hell for picking Miami last week, and I'm like, but I was right. I mean, I'm right. They haven't won in 3 years. I mean, come on.
They don't win in the preseason, apparently.
Exactly, and I mean, I almost think that it's a running joke that Dan Quinn has going on right now or something, man. But you know what? I'm gonna pick Atlanta in this one because
all right.
If they're gonna beat anybody, it'll be the Jets.
You think anybody will beat the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, I know
Don't
you believe in the Jets, but
I believe in the Jets. I believe big time in the Jets.
Yeah, I know, but I think we see the defense.
I would bet money on or not money, but we can make this a bet. We gotta find some stakes still on what to bet over, but this is gonna be one. Jets make the playoffs within the next 3 years.
3 years, man. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if I can bet you that because I think I believe in that too. I don't think it's gonna be this season because they.
How about winning record within the next 2 years?
You really believe in Sam Darnold, don't you?
I believe in Sam Darnold.
See, if they don't, I don't know that I can take that bet, man, because I believe in Sam Darnold also, not to the extent you do, but the only way I see them having any success is taking care of that O-line. They definitely need to beef up that O-line severely.
That is true, but they have done that to a degree this offseason. The
interior
offensive
they
line is
added
much better
for
than
sure.
it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Jets. Why not? You pick the Falcons. I can't do it. Obviously, would not be interesting. Give me the Jets. Give me 2-3 drives for Sam Darnold. 21 points, easy win. Raiders and the Cardinals.
Raiders and the Cardinals. What do you think of Kyler Murray, man?
He looked pretty good. Good. I'm not gonna lie. Now it's preseason. Obviously, he's not facing. Well, first of all, he wasn't facing the NFC West pass rush there.
That's
which,
true.
I still want to see him do. But he looked good. Also, the Raiders look good. But
they did.
If the preseason is anything to judge, then that doesn't mean much because I don't have either of those teams doing anything in the regular season at all.
Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Hard Knocks, I guess. Good for TV numbers, and let the Cardinals have their wins as long as they don't count. I think I'm gonna pick you know what? Let me pick the Cardinals. Actually, I think they're gonna throw Kyler Murray out there. Let him play against, basically a second string team for the most part. Then he's gonna start anyway, and he can definitely use reps. That's one thing that he needs more than anything really right now.
Oh yeah, I picked
we need
the
some
Cardinals
drama too on Hard Knocks. We can't have the Raiders going 4-0. That would not be fun.
No, of course not. Yeah, we need Burfict to throw a fit or something.
Yeah. So who you picking?
But yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals also.
All right, so we agree on that. Buffalo Bills and the Panthers.
And I'm definitely going with the Panthers on this. Although the Bills did not look bad last week, but going with the home team here because that's another close call.
All right, let me go pick the Bills. I think a lot of this will definitely relates to quarterback situation. I think Cam Newton is the one quarterback who is going to need and presumably get less reps in this game. And even though Josh Allen and Cam Newton are surprisingly similar players, if you really look at them,
they are, yeah,
in a lot of ways. I'll take the Buffalo Bills. They have a really strong set of running backs. Not even a set, like 4 people, I think. It's crazy. So that's something that's been sneaky development of the offseason. Bills running back, Bills backfield. be on the lookout for that in the entire season. But yeah, I'm going to go Buffalo. Why not? Dolphins and the Buccaneers.
Dolphins and Bucks. Yeah, I'm going with the home team. I got to.
Bucks.
Yeah, I don't really like the Bucks, of course, but well, you know what, man? Kalen Ballage didn't look bad in that game,
No.
and dude, it's really making me debate on Kalen Ballage and Kenyon Drake right now, but. And if you can do one thing to the Bucks is run all over them. So
that's true.
Tough.
I'm gonna pick my I'm gonna use my joker in this one and just pick my traditional preseason tie again because I really want to see it, and I even more so want to be right. And it's Miami and Tampa Bay, and it just seems like something that two teams full of Florida men would be doing.
Oh, it's possible. That's definitely possible.
Bears and the Giants.
I'm going with the Bears. They're definitely not the home team, but
you're not on the Daniel Jones train yet.
Man, he looked good. He did look good.
He looked really good.
Much better than I thought he was gonna do. You know, I expected to see like a Drew Lock performance out of him, but
not much better than I thought that he would. I thought Drew Lock was gonna do better. I thought Kyler Murray was gonna do a bit worse. Haskins about as I expected, and Daniel Jones as I expected. I mean, he was my number 2 quarterback in this draft.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had him at number 2.
I had him at number 2, and I had him above Kyler Murray.
I had him about 5, but hey, maybe he's probably proving me wrong here, but he looked really good.
So I'm going to take the Giants. Why not? Look, you have him some preseason exposure, and maybe he could even stir up a controversy if he wins. If he goes 4-0 preseason, wins every game. Maybe he needs to start. I don't know. Depending on how Eli Manning does, if he gets off to a bad start, might see some changes there. I don't know.
So far, they're booing the hell out of Eli Manning. So
yeah. Cleveland Browns and the Colts.
Oh, you know what? I've got the Browns, man. They looked scary good.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, that kid too, the walk-on kid, man. What a story he's got behind him. He was homeless, you know, and worked his way, finagled his way in there, and scored a touchdown too. That's amazing. But on that one drive, Baker was killing them, and. Yeah, I'm going with the Browns, man. I think they're going undefeated in the preseason at least.
I'll take the Browns. I'll take the Browns also. Like the Cleveland Browns are looking like a legit team, and that's a brand new sentence. No one ever said that.
Exactly.
Just look at the offense. I mean, that offense was not firing at all cylinders. Not even close. You get Jarvis Landry, you got Odell Beckham, the core running backs that they have. God, this is going to be a good team. I'll take the Browns. They're gonna go for wins in the preseason just to keep the hype up.
Oh
Patriots and the Tennessee Titans.
You know what? I'm going with Tennessee because I think this is where the Patriots drop a game.
Okay.
You know, and Tennessee's at home.
Give me the Patriots. You know, give me the Patriots.
Yeah. Well. The Patriots are used to losing preseason, so I'm assuming the trend would continue, but they clobbered the Lions last week. So.
And again, we talked about it. Jarrett Stidham looked pretty darn good, and I think he's going to get a bunch of reps. Why not? I mean, it's obviously he played one game, but man, you got a quarterback who just turned like 42 years old.
Yeah,
something around those lines. Man, you can't keep the guy forever. And it was too late for Jimmy G, so he came in a bit too early. Had to go. Bit too early or a bit too late for Jacoby Brissett. He came in too early, had to go. But this guy might be the next generation if he starts, keeps playing like this.
Oh, it can definitely happen, man, because that's the team.
Why not throw him out there?
Yeah, he's in the perfect landing spot, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction real quick before we go on to the next one. This is Tom Brady's last season in New England.
His last in New England. Yes. I noticed the wording there. So you think that he'd go play somewhere else?
I think so. I think the cards are aligning here. Something's going to happen.
What do you think he's going, like Cincinnati or something like that?
No, you know what? I haven't really thought about it too much. Somewhere I think it's going to be a team that's used to winning. Somebody that that's just fallen on hard times though and lost their star quarterback. I don't know. Give me some time to think about it, and I'll get back with you on that one.
See, I feel like I'm not sure if he really would want to do this. See, I get that Joe Montana did it kind of the same way, but he was younger. He was quite a bit younger when that happened, and they had Steve Young, Hall of Famer, to replace him.
Yeah.
With the Patriots, I think. I mean, there was a rumor when the Jimmy G trade went down that Bill Belichick would have preferred to trade Tom Brady to the 49ers and keep Jimmy Garoppolo for the future and start building then and there. But Robert Kraft allegedly denied that trade.
Yeah,
and that's the one team that Tom Brady, I would assume, would want to play for since he grew up a 49ers fan.
Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah. Could you imagine? Could you imagine him going to the 49ers and be like, "Hey, Jimmy, get the hell out of here again."
Oh man, Jimmy, you're going to the Jacksonville Jaguars now. No. That would be
Miami.
The worst. That would be the worst move possible. That's how to ruin a franchise 101 for the Niners. Like, I'm praying that does not happen. I think Jimmy's is a better choice there if you're trying to play for the future, which they are. So let's get into the next matchup: Chiefs, Kansas City at Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Kansas City because they put a mollywhopping on them last week, and they look really good. You see Mecole Hardman, man, he is fast. That kid can
not
fly.
Like they didn't have enough speed on that offense.
Yeah. But
it's hard to argue with those numbers that's showing. I'm also going to pick Kansas City. It is in Pittsburgh, but I think overall we have a more talented offense in Kansas City. Even the backup, second, third string guys. Steelers have some promising young talent on that roster. I'm not going to deny it. Big Ben's not going to take that many reps, and after all, preseason is not the most important thing to Pittsburgh here. They're going to have to focus on getting people healthy because the division's going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy win as it used to be in years past. I got the Chiefs. Lions and Texans.
I'm going with the home team. Let's go with Houston here because the Lions looked pitiful. And
they look bad.
I'm starting to feel sorry for them right now.
I mean, they look bad.
Yes.
Like we know Patriots play good. Jarrett Stidham played really well. They look bad. 3 points. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. I don't care if Bill Belichick's coaching the defense. If it's his third string NFL defense, you got to put some points up. And
if this continues,
move the ball.
Yeah. If this continues into the regular season, Matt Patricia might not want to make his house in Detroit permanent.
No. Not that you would want to do that anyway, but that's off topic. Give me the Texans too. I'm not hating on the Lions, by the way. Give me the Texans. Looking bad right now, looking better. And I'm going to have to take the team that seems to be on the up. Now, this one is an interesting one. Cowboys and the Rams.
Yeah, that is an interesting one because both teams, as good as they are, looked really horrible last week. But getting some of the starters in there, and you know what, I know you don't agree with me, but I put Dak Prescott and Jared Goff in the same tier. So
you did, yeah.
But I'm going with Los Angeles, home team here.
And what a blunderous decision that was, and hopefully, presumably in future years will turn out to have been. The Cowboys had so I've watched this game twice, obviously. Once because Lions were playing, and once because I watch games and look for stuff. But they kind of stalled out, like time after time on offense with Dak with Cooper Rush, and it didn't look so good. So if a field goals is all that they can bring up throughout the entirety of this game, they're likely going to lose it. So I'm going to give it to the Rams also.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints and the Chargers.
Yep. My heart can't let me pick New Orleans, and I was right last week, so I'm going with the Chargers.
Chargers, however, also did not win last week. They also lost. Drew Brees playing his former team, if that's of any significance here.
Yeah, you can never count out the revenge game factor.
Yeah. I think the Saints are going to utilize the preseason as sort of a frustration therapy from that NFC Championship game, which is, by the way, still in that mentality. So it's tough to shake that stuff off. Don't get me wrong. I think they're gonna. They're not taking this too seriously. They're trying to get mentally focused for the regular season and what lies in front of them in a tough division. I'll take the Chargers. Also, no reason to waste guys like Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, who combined for one of the deadliest offenses in the league. No need to risk injury or even fatigue. Give too many reps. There's no need for that. So I'm going to take LA. Two more games to go. We got the Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going with Seattle in this one. The away team. I think this running back core is going to get a little work in here. Seahawks are definitely a running team now, and Minnesota is no joke on the D-line. Their whole defense in general is no joke. But I don't know how hard they're going to work those guys in this game. I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah, the thing is, the Vikings defense is big, and the huge guys, you don't want to give too many reps because you're kind of glad, you're happy for every single rep that they can give you anyway. I would agree with your take. Generally, if you are a strong running team, having second and third string guys in hurts you less because it's kind of all the same anyway, and it's a lot of more scheme over individual talent. So I do agree that the Seahawks are probably the better pick. However, this is I can't pick them, so I'm gonna go with Minnesota. It's preseason. I don't care. I'm not gonna pick the Seahawks. Just deal with it. Next and final last one. Late night game. 49ers at the Broncos.
Man, you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm going with the home team, Denver.
Oh boy. You think Drew Lock already is gonna pull it out?
I want to see something out of the kid. You know, he's not looking good, but we'll probably see Flacco get out there for a drive or so, and they're trying to figure out.
See Jimmy Garoppolo go out there for a drive or so.
Oh yeah. Well, Flacco, Garoppolo,
all the same. Okay, I see.
Denver's trying to figure out this wide receiver situation. They really don't know who's going to be the number 1, 2, or 3 and all that.
But speaking of receiver situations, man, you seen those two rookies for San Francisco? Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurts putting on a show.
Deebo was a beast in that game. Yeah.
I really liked what I saw. Now, there's a lot of injury concern going on again with the 49ers, which, by the way, that's a topic at some point. But we can talk about it if you want to. But it's really hard to. What do you say about that stuff, man? People are getting hurt. It seems like every season. For the last 2 years, have been the most injury-plagued team, and now they are again. Would you just attribute that to just bad luck and coincidence consistently, or is there potentially a structural problem there?
I think there's a problem, and I don't know. I've thought about this a lot actually, and I don't know if it's the lack of full contact practice, which seems like it would go against the case. Yeah. Like more full contact, more risk of injury, but the numbers say otherwise. Say that it's going in the opposite direction. With less full contact practice comes more injury during preseason and regular season.
At least for this team. I'm also starting to think there's got to be a structural problem. I mean, it sucks, obviously. That happens all the time. Like a year or two ago, I used to think we got unlucky, but you might actually, if this doesn't stop, if this continues, have to look at your trainer staff, your strength coaches, your conditioning guys, your medical staff, and just you might have to replace some guys if that's not up to league standard. That's something that you can't have because that's an important part of your team. So the trainer staff might have to be looked at a little bit more closely.
And I think the league in general though is having this problem all over. I mean we can go over under 4 ACL tears a week throughout the entire league. I mean. That's what it is.
Do that on a week by week basis. Reset the over under.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we could do it for concussions too. But
Oh yeah.
Those are also tough to actually keep track of because.
Yeah, there's some of them are not reported.
Like, they don't really show up. Most concussions never show up on any injury report. Just the really big, the knockout ones do, but the micro concussions never do. That being said, I'm going to pick the 49ers to close out this topic. Obviously, I have come to the conclusion that picking a undefeated team or picking against an undefeated team is absolutely ridiculous, and who would ever do that? So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to pick the perfect. let me give you the stage. I've been wanting to say this for a while. I'm picking the perfect undefeated San Francisco 49ers to beat the Denver Broncos in this football game. Got 3 starting caliber quarterbacks, so there's really no second or third string. I think they have a great preseason roster with the, if it was a rule that you can only play a guy for a quarter a game, every game, you'd need to have 4 for every position. I think 49ers would win the Super Bowl because they probably have the best quarterback depth. But we know that's not how that works. But yeah, I'm hoping to see a bit of Jimmy Garoppolo. We know that we're not going to see any of Nick Bosa. Likely, he's probably going to be out for the entire preseason as a measure of just being cautious with his injury situation. D Ford is kind of the similar situation. Big injury list. But
let me ask you something before we get off the 49ers, man. What happened to Pettis? Wow.
What happened to Pettis?
If the kid is supposed to be the number one, why are they playing him so much? And wasn't it Shanahan came out and said, we're trying to figure out if he's actually going to be our number one.
Yeah. I mean, creating competition is never a bad idea. And you know this yourself that aside from Julio Jones, that in a Kyle Shanahan offense, there really isn't a hierarchical number 1, 2, 3 receivers. Everyone needs to be able to do a bit of everything, and you up first you got roles. I think he's going to see a lot of play. You got the 2 rookies who are definitely gonna have to prove themselves more, but have been shown to potentially might be big steals the way they've been performing. Been looking really good. You got Marquise Good. When you have a lot of weapons there, I think Dante Pettis is gonna see his fair share of touches in the preseason, but that's not necessarily a surprise to me. I think the offense builds a lot on rhythm and communication in the play calling, and so I think everyone should get their reps. Specifically now with Trent Taylor being out to injury, there's not that many slot guys left, and I think Pettis is not gonna have that much of a contested job when it's all said and done. But like I said, everybody needs to be able to do a bit of everything there. I'm really hyped for these rookies. I think it's looking pretty good so far, and God knows that receiver is something that we've been struggling to find high-end quality for a lot of years. Like I can't even think back to when the 49ers had a legit top 10 in the league number 1 wide receiver, and just not counting the Randy Moss days. But other than that, it's probably like Vernon Davis, who's kind of a tight end. So that's been a while.
I am gonna say I'm not taking Pettis off for a breakout candidate, but I would not be surprised if by the end of this season we see Deebo Samuel as the number 1 there.
And neither would I. I think if they continue to keep performing like that, people are going to be sharing touches. I mean, you also have the best tight end in football on that team who's going to want his fair share of catches. You got a bunch of running backs. You know Tevin Coleman. You know how easy he's a receiving back or can be a receiving back, as is Jerick McKinnon. There's going to be a lot of pass catchers, which is a good problem to have if you're a coach. Obviously, it's for the guy. If you want to be the guy, the one featured guy, gets all the catches, all the touches. You're probably going to have to learn to share, and that's going to be what's going to happen to Dante Pettis if those guys continue to ball out. But I'm not too mad about it. That's the first topic. That's our predictions. Again, it's preseason. We can do whatever we want, but come regular season is going to get serious, and we're going to count the points, and we're going to come up with something to play for. I think we still have so many bets written down that we've came up with that we have to at some point publicly announce on these podcasts. We still need some good stakes for these bets, and if anyone has a good suggestion, of course, feel free to put them in the comments. But it might just boil down to like soft drinks or something. We're not
the Mountain Dew.
The Mountain Dew, the Case's Diet Dew. Yeah, exactly. We are allowed to take inspiration also.
Oh yeah.
So Hard Knocks, the Raiders, Antonio Brown.
Interesting.
What a whirlwind! It's been a whirlwind since the first episode, even before then, and I've said this. I think now here's what my reaction process looked like when I heard the Antonio Brown is being traded to the Raiders, or even before that, even when he was on the trade block. My reaction was make a video first of all and about Antonio Brown because he's a great football player, best receiver in the league, arguably. Yes. And I said, and I titled the video, Antonio Brown's gonna transform his new team. At the time, I didn't know what the team was. There was teams like the Colts, 49ers, Buccaneers were being thrown around. Not so much the Raiders, and those were all teams that I gave a shot to becoming potentially really good in the not so distant future, especially the Colts and Niners and the Jets too. Now with the Raiders and with all the other personnel that they brought in, I'm not so sure. Now the situation with Antonio Brown is the following. So apparently he had a mysterious injury to his feet, started training camp, and that was documented in episode 1 of Hard Knocks with the Raiders, obviously. Turns out he got some therapy done. He went into a cryo chamber, and when he was in Europe for like therapy, and failed to wear proper footwear doing that, and then got frostbite on his toes.
I have some insight into this because I actually deal in liquid nitrogen, and I often sell to cryotherapy places that use cryotherapy units. Yes, when you go into one of these machines, you either have to have the proper footwear or they will have a rack standing on it, because frequently when they're dumping, they use the gas off the top of the liquid nitrogen and they spray it basically in there to kind of freeze your body, you know, not enough to kill tissue, but just enough to shock. You want these shock proteins in your body, and it reduces inflammation and other things. But frequently, you will get some runoff of actual liquid nitrogen that is 380 degrees negative, and that's Fahrenheit. I'm not sure if you're using Celsius or centigrade, but we could do the math on that. But that's enough. If you stand in it for over 2 seconds, you're going to get damage. And apparently he was unaware of this. Maybe it was the first time he had ever used one, or he had never used one without this grate that you would stand on, this stool type deal that you would stand on to keep you out of the liquid. But so he burnt the hell out of his feet, and if you saw him on Twitter, they look nasty. He's definitely got some frostbite going on there.
I've been avoiding pictures there, but the articles are enough. Also, apparently, it wasn't him who actually gave that information out. I read an article saying it was Bill Romanowski and some talk show talking about, for some reason, knowing about Antonio Brown's off-season business. What do I know?
Yeah, that makes you wonder.
And then the second situation, obviously coming out over the last week, is the helmet situation, and this one is, I'm not sure which one of those is more
ridiculous,
or I should say less thought through on his end. So Antonio Brown seems to be a bit of a superstitious guy. We know that with his number 84, being 4 times 8 being the number of teams that passed on him in the first round of the draft. And now that the helmet, so he's refusing to, or seems to be refusing to play without his helmet that he brought from Pittsburgh. And,
and
he's
painted.
10 years old. Had it painted in the silver and black for the Raiders. Apparently it has to be the exact same, the exact model, the exact individual helmet actually.
Yes.
Not even an updated version of that same model, which I know that Schutt is still making those helmets. There is a program from Vices, I know from Vices and from Riddell, that are making their top of the line helmets as a custom fit to individual NFL players. The Riddell Speed Flex and the I think the first line of the Vices helmet, which people like Russell Wilson have been wearing for a couple of years now, are being made custom fit for players' heads.
Those are the ones you'll see. They'll have like the little crumple zones almost in the top of the helmet or right above the forehead. That is going to greatly reduce the impact, and he doesn't have one of those. And
he has an old helmet.
He does, yeah. They don't even make that line of helmet that he's using anymore.
And you've seen a couple of those helmets actually, of course, being banned. Someone recently by the NFL, and some notable players, including Tom Brady, had to switch helmets. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but you got to look up Joe Staley and his helmet transition. You know him?
Yeah, I know Joe Staley, but I didn't know about
the 49ers. So he's now wearing I think he's wearing the Speed Flex now. But you gotta look at him. Like 2-3 years ago, he was wearing the most ridiculous helmet you have ever seen. It was like a 70s kicker helmet. It was crazy. It was
with the legit, one bar across the front.
Not one bar, but it was like legit egg shaped. Like it looked like a helmet that Otto Graham would be wearing. It was crazy. I like that. It was old school, but now he's gone with the times. And Antonio Brown apparently isn't willing to really do that. I assume that we're going to get some more insights on that as Hard Knocks progresses. Obviously, this is a storyline. I get it. And I also get how this is being played out for television, and as well as the frostbite situation, because apparently there's nothing actually interesting to report on for HBO.
You know what? I get it, though. Like, I get it also. I can see both sides of the story. And yes, I do believe this is being played up more dramatically because of Hard Knocks going on at the moment. But if you look at both sides of the situation, yes, you can understand the NFL side because they're trying to reduce concussions because you can go off on a limb and say, okay, well, players can take their own risks with that. If they want to use old helmets, they get concussions, it's on them. But that's not going to stop them from years later when these players are out of the league, maybe going broke. They're going to join the lawsuits, these class action lawsuits that players take out against the NFL. But also on the other side, you can see the players' point of view where they want that comfort and that line of sight that they've been using for the past however many years, and I'm not sure exactly which argument Antonio Brown's going with, if it's just the comfort he wanted or if it's just the line of vision that he likes.
I think he was talking about vision somehow, but here's the thing. It doesn't, like, you can wear your old face mask, and that's what's going to affect your vision, not the shell of the helmet. And you also can't tell me that a 10-year-old used, presumably not custom-made helmet is more comfortable than a custom-fitted modern era.
You wouldn't think so.
By ISIS, no. No way. And it's not like he would be able to afford one of those top-of-the-line helmets.
Yeah, I think he's got the spare chains laying around.
Yeah. And Lord knows that NFL football helmets are not made to prevent concussion. They never were made to prevent concussion, and only now is that trend kind of setting in with the rotational force absorption. And again, a lot of those older helmets still are Stone Age technology compared to that. I assume that when it's all settled that he's gonna go for a similar model, screw his old face mask back on there, and just play football. I can't really imagine how that's gonna hinder him from being his old self when it comes down to it on the field. But just assuming that this is not just a reality TV storyline, and he's actually considering that sort of thought. I mean, if you retire over a helmet, like a specific helmet, not even the model or the brand, but a specific helmet, and you're walking away from what, $30 million right now?
Yeah.
You've got frostbite in your brain.
maybe he was upside down in that cryo chamber.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me. So again, not to knock Antonio Brown, players can have their traditions, superstitions. I don't care, but you gotta adhere to those very basic rules. That's one of the rules where you would never assume that anyone would ever have an actual practical issue with it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't wear a brain bucket that's outdated. Okay, switch to a newer helmet. They make them better now. They make them more comfortable, more protective, and very similar lines are still being produced. I'm assuming that we're going to see it on Hard Knocks too. They're going to play it up. I can see it right now. They're going to play out like the big scene of him putting on his new helmet for the first time for a preseason game, or maybe not even the preseason game, but like in practice, he's gonna put it on. They're gonna have like a montage, a cutscene of him balling out, catching touchdown. And it's all going to be good at the end. But what a storyline. I mean, if this is the pinnacle of Raiders camp, God, I don't know.
If you're a fan, if you're a Raiders fan, what do you think of this situation? Like,
please.
There's no way you're just sitting back believing, yeah, this guy is for my team. Like, no, Antonio Brown is for himself. And he wants all the attention, no matter if it's good attention, bad attention. He doesn't care. He needs attention. And
any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, this is not, I mean, I'm a fan of the Falcons, so we're used to non-diva wide receivers, you know. Our receivers don't typically pull stunts or complain or throw fits, you know, or burn their feet in cryo chambers or cry about their helmets, you know. So,
I think most receivers don't do that. Because if they do, and listen, if anyone less than Antonio Brown did this, they'd be sleeping on the bridge next night. Because,
well, there's a few that could probably get away with it. I would think a D-Hop could. I don't see him doing something like that.
The elite, sure, but then again, a part of being an elite receiver is also like your characteristics. You know, how much of a team player are you? And people like Hopkins, Julio Jones do a really good job of that. Any given wide receiver 3 pulling those sort of stunts, you're out. No,
you're gone.
Not going to happen. And I don't know. I know that he got away with that sort of stuff in Pittsburgh on basically a weekly basis. I know John Gruden's going to handle this. I don't know how he might have to handle it. I don't think he's going to like it, but he might have to put up with it because Antonio Brown is honestly more valuable to this organization than John Gruden is.
Which brings me to my next question: what happened to John Gruden's balls?
I don't know.
Did he lose them somewhere in the commentary booth?
I do not know.
You see him on the field with these players, right, on Hard Knocks. Yeah. Like, that's not the John Gruden I remember. No. He's not cussing anyone out. He's not throwing a fit. He's not pushing players. He's actually accepting. He's got Abrams.
One segment in episode 1 where he had the rookie, Abrams?
Yeah, Abrams.
Just a back and forth discussion about let me hit people, and he's like, please don't, sort of thing. That's not what we know from John Gruden. I would have expected John Gruden to kick that guy.
It's a rookie.
Yeah, kick him in the butt.
Straighten up or get the hell off the field. You know, I mean,
and if a rookie can do that, you got characters. You got Antonio Brown, you got Vontaze Burfict, you got Richie Incognito on the same team, all of them.
I'll say one thing about this Abrams kid. He wants to be the star of Hard Knocks, and the cameras are on him because they've recognized it right away.
Yes, that is true. I didn't hate it. I mean, I liked it. I liked the first episode. I mean, you had
it was interesting.
it was fun. You had him and Cleveland Farrell.
Yeah.
Get the horseback riding scene.
The kid from Last Chance U that bombed again.
Oh yeah, that was. I don't even know why they included him in that. I didn't really get any of that.
How did he last a day?
What was that? Like he lasts. It's seemingly first practice he gets hurt just a little bit and sits out for the rest of the day, and then next day he's caught.
Yeah, because he didn't show up to medical. You know, and I think they were focusing on him for that short period because he was a star on Last Chance U.
They would have probably appreciated him staying around for longer to play up the whole storyline of he's fighting for a roster spot, gets cut in the end, sort of thing. Which I do with some people, but. Yeah, apparently, I mean that's of course that's not really NFL behavior. You can't get hurt and miss practice and then not get it treated. That's not all right. So that was actually the one time where John Gruden was pretty strict. Like, he was like, get his bleep out of here. We need someone who wants to play.
Yeah, and that's what I was expecting to see from Gruden the entire time. But obviously, he's the more important players. He's not going to be that strict with. Obviously,
he had that moment, and like in the very beginning, they started off with his fiery speech, and I couldn't help but be reminded back to. The speech that I think was it a Hard Knocks or on All or Nothing that Jeff Fisher gave in his last season with the Rams, where he said,
Hard Knocks.
I'm not going 8-8, and I'm not going 9-7. I'm a winning like you are the personification of 8-8 in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you got fired with like a losing record like halfway through the season in that year. Fantastic. So,
oh yeah, that's why September 8th is Jeff Fisher Day. You know.
Exactly. That was couldn't help but think back to that. And we'll see how the Raiders are going to be doing this year.
Did you notice when John Gruden gave that speech? He had mentioned don't haze the rookies. You know who he was talking to, right?
Yeah.
Richie Incognito.
And by don't haze, he meant like don't send racist threats or whatever.
Yes.
Like don't flat out beat up folks, sort of thing.
Yeah, don't fart in the kids' faces. Yes, and don't make them pay for everybody's meal that costs more than they make, you know, or whatever he did down in Miami, you know.
Well, I mean, if I had to take out the entire offensive line, I might also struggle, but
yeah.
Usually the meal payment stuff is okay, I guess. I like it when everyone picks up the tab one week after another, so then it's fair again.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna see more of that.
What a group of personalities, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's reality. Listen, I get it. It's television, right? It's what sells. If you were in training camp, this is why the Patriots are, by the way, never going to be on Hard Knocks under this regime.
Yeah,
because
of course.
It's just not exciting, man. There's just no hopping around, out of line sort of stuff. It's not happening.
No.
Bill ain't having it. It's a boot camp. The Patriots training camp is a boot camp. You show up or you leave. And you better not step out of line one step. So
they would have to miss the playoffs somehow too. Also, but if that ever happened and they decided, hey, let's go with the Patriots this year.
Yeah.
I think after week 1 they'd be like, we have nothing. I'm pretty sure
the day that they miss the playoffs is also the day that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick walk out and give up.
Yeah.
But we'll see if that ever happens. Yeah, looking forward to the Raiders. Right now, cannot take them seriously as a contending NFL football team, but they are fun. They're a circus act to me. They're entertaining. I get it. It makes for good television. It doesn't make for great NFL football. And they're moving to Las Vegas, which, of course, is just going to calm down the whole situation quite a bit, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But we might talk about that next year. That's for topic number 2. And obviously, lastly, we have the fantasy report, the weekly fantasy report. And we're getting into the hot phase of fantasy football. Between weeks 2 and 3 of preseason, from experience, is the best time for fantasy drafts. And a lot of drafts are conducted during that time, as including our fantasy draft. People, you might not know this because this is not an official announcement yet, but we are playing in a 4-team league, a fantasy football league, with my partner in crime, JJ from Trash Can TV, and your recording partner, Hollywood.
Yes.
From the Trash Talkers.
Couple of noobs.
Both of those first timers, not barely football fans. They like have a team that they support, but they don't really watch football or sports for that matter. Have never played fantasy, and generally don't know much about it. And it's going to be fun to do that. We're going to have, hopefully, a coverage of that draft on this channel, that's Beyond Football, my channel, and the other channel, your channel, of course, too, if you want to upload it there. And it's going to be fun. So, what's the news, man? How are you looking at some critical situations here? Antonio Brown, Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon. Some decisions have to be made in drafts this week.
Yeah, well, I guess we're looking better on Antonio Brown. He, of course, lost his appeal for the helmet. But he is coming back. So, he's not going to retire. That's, so.
Good news, I guess.
Yeah, and he's going to demand his touches no matter what the team does. So keep drafting Antonio Brown where he's going. Second round is perfect for Antonio Brown this season. A couple of slot receivers have had some unfortunate injuries. You mentioned one earlier with Trent Taylor.
Yeah.
He was a really good last round pickup, or very late round pickup, along with Trey Quinn, and they both got injured in their first preseason games. Trent Taylor's a little more serious. You're probably not going to be drafting him if you were planning on it. But Trey Quinn may come back. He had a thumb injury, which is not looking too serious at the moment, so we may see him back by week 1. Andrew Luck. The Colts owner Jim Irsay went on Sirius XM and said that Luck is now dealing with a small little bone issue for whatever that means.
A small little bone issue. Right.
That's it. That was his exact quote.
That could be a whole lot or nothing. Depends on the bone.
Exactly. But he also went on to say, but I really feel very, that's kind of redundant. I really feel very confident that he is going to find his way through this thing. He added by saying, it's first we've heard of this sort of problem, but he expects him to pull through and be ready. So keep an eye on Luck, man. I usually don't draft quarterbacks that early, but Luck may be falling if this issue persists. So maybe a good pickup in the later rounds if he falls that far. Sony Michel is becoming the clear lead back. Easy for me to say.
The number one guy I like to opt for usually.
Yeah. Of course I expected Sony Michel to be the lead guy. I don't know why. Somewhere between the Damian Harris draft and James coming back, and I don't know if they're really thinking that Rex Burkhead is still a thing or not, but somewhere along the way people decided that Sony may not be the lead back, but he definitely is at this moment. So,
and he was drafted to be.
Exactly, he was, and he's that good.
Yes.
So keep drafting him. There's no risk in Sony this year, I don't believe at all. Let's see. Amari Cooper's heel injury is more of a ligament thing, apparently. Everybody knew he was dealing with a heel issue, of course, but now they're saying it's not a bruise, it's more of a ligament injury. So that's much more serious than we originally thought. Yeah. So you have to keep an eye on Amari Cooper with the great production that he had later in the season. If for some reason he's going to be missing games, look to Michael Gallup maybe. He's not really much behind Amari Cooper right now, so I don't know that you would want to draft any of these guys, but maybe a late round flyer, something like that. Darius Geis, if you were planning on drafting him, which I don't know who is, but still not cleared for games. Darius Geis, of course, got injured in preseason last year. He was correct me if I'm wrong, he was first round draft last season, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, out of LSU. Didn't play at all last year for the Redskins because of his injury, and he was in line to come back this season, and another injury popped up. He had his hamstring injury.
Tough.
And he has a knee injury also. So, man, I don't know that this kid will actually ever play. I mean, there's a possibility he may come back and they'll put him in a game or two, but I don't think he's fantasy viable anymore. And if you've already drafted him, I feel sorry for you because a lot of people were.
Didn't he get picked? Wasn't he like one of the guys that fell to round 2, even though he was expected to go?
Oh, you're right.
Was that the storyline because he had injury issues before, so he like fell all the way down?
Yes, you're right. He was expected to go in round 1.
Actually, yeah. He was Leonard Fournette sort of replacement at LSU, and then he came and kind of hurt, and that apparently still seems to be an issue right now.
Yeah, and I think he had a few issues down at LSU too that helped him fall in the draft, and ended up going behind Rashad Penny and Michelle, as a matter of fact, and Nick Chubb. I think he might have been the 4th off the board. But anyway, keep an eye on that if you really want to take a flyer on Darius Geis. Jared Cook is better than expected, is the word coming out of the Saints camp. I wasn't a believer in Jared Cook, man. He had that outlier season last season. He was horrible at Green Bay. But maybe that was a coaching situation because Cook is looking better and better. So the Saints looking like they really believe in Jared Cook. So it may be a good tight end pickup. I mean, he's going around tight end 4 or 5 right now.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen him go that high.
That's very high.
I don't have him that high.
Yeah, neither do I right now.
I'd have to look at my rankings. I think he's probably around 10 for me.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Because, all those years in Green Bay, I can't just go with him off of one season of production, you know.
Can you go with George Kittle off of one season of production, though?
Oh, of course. Of course. He's my tight end, too.
Yeah.
And probably, if he continues, he'll be tight end 1 by the end of this season, you know. Travis Kelce could fall off at any moment. I know people hate to see that because people are taking him in the first round, which I think is a major mistake.
Yeah, no one's gonna just come in and take the Gronk role off the top. He's kind of always been the guy who was like, you pick running back, and then when you get to receivers, you get receiver or you go Gronk. That was sort of the philosophy, and I don't think a tight end right now is in that position. For George Kittle, I think his bottleneck is sort of the cap on the actual touchdowns that he catches because Gronkowski just scores so many more touchdowns. And for Travis Kelce's records, they aren't exactly Gronk in all his fashions, and they're not going to be utilized as much. When Gronkowski played, he was easily the best player on the field for the offense every single time. Now with Kansas City, you have Tyreek Hill as an example, who's going to demand his touches and big plays, and in Philadelphia is stacked anyway. So a bit of an isolation issue there sometimes maybe. I'm not high on taking tight end early this year to begin with. No, there's lots of value. I mean, the history shows us that tight ends will most likely rebound this year. It was a horrible season for tight ends last season, fantasy-wise. You know, outside of the big 3, you had nothing at all, you know. But there's a lot of upcoming candidates. You have David Njoku, you have O.J. Howard, you have Austin Hooper, you have Hunter Henry. Like, all these guys could break out. And do not underestimate Vance McDonald's role in Pittsburgh. Right. I've seen him go really high. I've seen people like Vance McDonald.
Man, yeah, because more of the industry is getting on Vance McDonald lately, and he's going higher and higher, and it's kind of pissing me off when I draft, especially.
You wanted to reserve him for a steal?
Yeah. Well, and I want to take him late round too because I want to load up on my running backs and receivers, and then take a secret weapon in the late rounds, you know, like Vance McDonald. Hey, he's gonna perform.
See, I did that exact thing with George Kittle last year. Like in one draft, I think I got him like around 13 or something.
Yeah, you know, he actually came off the waiver wire in most of my drafts last year, but I was high on Kittle. Of course, that was my number 1 breakout candidate last season because of that offense. I knew there wasn't a number 1 receiver there, and Pierre Garçon definitely wasn't going to take over the lead role, and this kid was showing promise in his first season. So, you know, after Hunter Henry went down, who was my original pick last season, but, you know, who else but George Kittle, and he definitely proved it last season.
Oh, he did. So I got 2 more names, though, that I need a statement from you because those are some of the most debated names of fantasy football right now. Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon. Yeah,
and the more time goes on, the scarier both of those situations look. Now, both of them have contracts that say they have to play at some point this season. Otherwise, they will be just right back in the same situation next season. Because it's not a Le'Veon Bell situation where Le'Veon Bell could get out of his contract just in the fashion that he did by holding out, and it worked out for him, and he got his money. But these 2 guys, if either one of them decide to hold out for an entire season, they're going to be stuck in that exact same situation next season. They're not going to get out of their contract. So I do see Melvin Gordon holding out to the maximum more than I would see Ezekiel Elliott. I think Jerry Jones will probably get something worked out, and I don't know, man. It's tough because I didn't see Ezekiel Elliott holding out at all. I thought he would be back by preseason games, but obviously he's serious about this. He's at home making viral comedy videos instead of practicing with the team.
That's one step to being Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, exactly. It's either that or a rap album, you know?
Yep.
Which, oh my God, his album was horrible. Jesus
Le'Veon?
Christ. Yes. I'm a rapper, so I have some kind of foresight into this, and that is not good rap. Like, stick with football, bruh. But, you know, Ezekiel Elliott, man, if I want to say he's going to be back for the first game. I want to say Jerry Jones is going to work something out with him. However, I don't see anything being worked out with Melvin Gordon. So he's either going to like it and lump it and come back and play his few games just to get through his contract, or they're going to trade him somehow, which obviously his agent already made public that he wants Gordon to be traded. Now, I don't really know. Like, what do you think he sees so wrong with the Chargers? Is it just a money situation? What do you think?
We're talking about his agent there. So what's an agent's one job?
Yeah, of course.
Getting his client in the best possible contract. And the best possible contract in the NFL specifically, we don't really have holdouts, break times sort of thing, load management. That's not a thing in the NFL. It's payment. And it's a money league. And you ever see a guy get paid? You see Todd Gurley get paid. You came out in the same draft with him. You were on one level with him. It was you and him. And you both had great careers. You've been balling. You've been the center of your offense now. You want to get paid. I get that. And yeah, I think that's the situation. I don't think Melvin Gordon's necessarily unhappy in that offense. I think he fits the offense pretty well. It would be a tragedy to see him not play, because that'll be a big setback to the Chargers organization. I mean, you gotta call it out as it is. So I would hope that he would play for the Chargers, but that's the situation to me. It's about the money.
Two things about that though. Do you think that actually playing and showing that you're going to finish your contract would actually mean more to a future team that you would like to go to? That they see that you're a man of your word and will actually negotiate with you much easier than a guy who decides to hold out at the first sign of uncomfortable.
The problem is that the career of specifically a running back is so short, the top career, that the window of actually making big money for a running back is just a handful of years. You don't get two big contracts as a running back. You get one.
No, you get the one. Yeah.
You get one big contract as a running back, and when you are on the wrong side of 30, you are not getting another one. That's how it just works. And if your rookie contract, you're sitting there 26 years old and you've been ran into the ground, Le'Veon Bell type of situation, that diminishes your value on the market. Running backs are a commodity. Running backs are an absolute commodity. Deprecation and all. So I see the idea. I get why. It's a tough situation to handle. Not gonna lie for teams. And I'm suspicious of the Melvin Gordon situation in fantasy terms. I'm not grabbing the guy anywhere near the top right now. I'm not reaching for him anywhere near.
No.
So I'd opt for something else. Ezekiel Elliott, I think should probably see play. I wouldn't be surprised if he was back for week 1.
Yeah, and Ezekiel Elliott is still going in round 1, even with the situation going on. But Melvin Gordon, however, is not. He was a first rounder up until this situation. And to tell you the truth, this is far below probably the industry standard. But I think for me to take Melvin Gordon right now, he would have to drop to 9th, 10th round. I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think.
If it's it depends. If we're talking like big in an hour league that we're playing, yeah, sure, because we're 4 people. But regular league,
maybe you want to take a chance if you're in a 14-team league or something like that. You know,
I might like around 5, 6. I might want to. You know, he's just so much better than anyone else available. you have to have to be able to do that. You have to have the best and most up to date insight in the situation with the team.
Yes. And there's not a lot being spoken about it. The Chargers are not, forthcoming with their information, and all we know right now is what the agents have said.
Mm-hmm.
So
tough situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spend a really high draft pick on someone who I might only get 7-8 games out of.
Yeah. I've done that. I've done it several times before. It's not advisable.
Yeah, I mean, people held out until past the deadline last season for Le'Veon Bell before they finally gave up on him. And, it sucks. I mean, your first-round pick is not playing,
That could lose you a lot of leagues right there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Seen it happen. But, keep taking Ezekiel Elliott until further notice. And Gordon, you really have to either take a chance or don't.
Caution. Yeah, be cautious in handling Melvin Gordon. I do agree with those assessments, and if I didn't before, I would now, because I know you're more into that sort of thing and you're deeper into those situations. But I'm glad I got it right, and I'm not going to change too much based on that. But expect that draft about next week. Mm-hmm. In place of this show. It might be a long one, depending on how we're gonna design how long we're gonna draw it out. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun time with Hollywood and JJ. That'll be a fun one. And
definitely.
How these guys do. We're gonna upload it on this channel, so you can for sure watch it there. You can also go watch it on the Trash Talkers channel, and not only that, but you can watch everything on the Trash Talkers channel, which if you're on Beyond Football right now, go and check it out. Link is in the description. I'm talking about Smokey's channel, of course, with his homeboy Hollywood, and together they make everything. You're talking about podcasts, you're talking about conspiracy theory discussions, you're talking about, you mentioned that you're a rapper. I saw you just released a new single called The Poison, which
I did.
Pretty damn good, so people go check it out.
Thank you.
And can only recommend it. So head on over there. If you're from their channel, coming over to Beyond Football, maybe you're a sports guy, you like some analysis videos, you like this podcast, feel free to subscribe to both of our channels and be back for the draft. That's going to be a big show, and it's going to be super fun. So we're definitely looking forward to that one. And you're going to also meet the other guys, Hollywood and JJ, if you're from this channel. So that's going to be a good one. Thank you for being on the show. It was a great show. Looking forward to week 2.
I'll tell you, it'll be a great thing to watch if you're a first-time drafter. Also, help you learn the ropes here, because
we got some noobs actually go at
it. Exactly.
Now I'm not gonna say too much, but I know he's really been reading into the matter. He knows what he's doing. He's doing his research right now. He's working. That I know. Yeah. I walked in there. I walked into his place yesterday, and he would start dropping fantasy football terms at me.
Oh, wow.
Deep running back class and stuff. I was like, I was not expecting that out of him. So, gonna be an interesting draft. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So
the leagues are always more fun when everyone takes it seriously.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So, good show. We'll see you soon for the draft. And Smokey, you got any closing words?
I think that's about it, man. I'm excited for football.
Yeah, it's back.
Yep,
couple more weeks to go. We got Hard Knocks until then, and some preseason action isn't the worst either. But I'm looking forward to the season. It's going to be great, and hopefully we got many more of those shows to come. So thank you for watching, everybody. We are going to see you in the next one.
Deuces.